Hello learners, I am Professor Munish Kumar Bhardwaj and today we will discuss about the safety in underground works. Basically, what are the underground works? Means any excavation, any construction which is done under the ground, basically that is the underground works. And as you know that the underground works are associated with many challenges. So objectives of the today lecture are, first of all, we will discuss that identify the hazards involved in underground construction safety. Then we will describe the guidelines adopted by OSHA, which is that Occupational Safety and Health Administration for underground construction. Then how we adopt control measures for underground activity in terms of safety, and also we will discuss the emergency procedures for underground constructions. So let us begin with what is underground construction. As you know, underground construction refers to the construction of underground tunnels, shafts, chambers and passageways. Anything which is done under the ground. It is also sometimes used to describe the portion of traditional construction that takes place below the earth's surface. It is not only the excavation of tunnels or something works which are deep inside the earth, also the construction work which are below the earth's surface, that are also considered as underground works. Then let us look at the history of this underground construction. Basically, this underground construction was done from early ages. Human underground construction likely began with the cave dwellings in prehistoric era, where people wanted to expand their homes basically. Because in that era, the easiest way to create the home was to make caves basically. And that caves was also a type of underground construction because they were excavating into the hills basically. So wherever they were finding some space, some fissures, cracks, there they tried to remove the portion and tried to make the caves basically. Somewhere natural caves and somewhere man-made caves basically. With that era, this underground construction started basically. All ancient civilizations practice some form of underground construction. If you look at oldest rock cut architecture, this is also a underground construction. Here you see the two famous examples of Indian rock cut architecture. First one is on the left, you see this is the photograph from Ajanta cave. On your left you see that in this figure. Please show the slide. In this the left picture is from Ajanta cave basically, which is a 5th century Chaitya hall. This is a rock cut architecture, and you can imagine that how difficult it would have been in that period, that in the 5th century a rock cut architecture, the whole temple is created in the rock. Second picture in this slide is from Ellora, which is the Kailash temple, which is of 8th century. So such type of rock architecture exists in India in the olden period basically. But with that passage of time is spent and some new things discovered, new technologies discovered, new tools discovered, and in early urban centers, underground spaces were created which generally served as burial places. Also to provide protection against the invaders basically, people created some underground spaces to live, to protect themselves from the invaders. Then public utilities also were created basically, in the underground. Then with the increased urbanization, the extent of underground urban construction increased significantly. Why? Because some facilities were needed, like sewers, public water system, subways, underground commercial spaces. So because now in this age we were having technology, tools, machines to create spaces underground, and we needed some service lines or public services, public utilities, which do not obstruct the space at the surface of the earth. So we started placing all these public utility or public services under the ground. In the late 20th and early 21st century, advances in automation and geotechnical engineering have allowed the ambition and scale of underground construction projects to increase. Now, lot of underground construction is going on. You see the tunnels in the Himalayas. Government is creating infrastructure along the border, creating tunnels all along the borders. So such type of things are now going on. Underground metro rail, you see that. So this is possible because of that advancement in technology, in advanced machines, advanced tools, advanced techniques basically. There are some examples here that how the things look like the public utilities or the public services. What are there? You see the sewers, the pipelines, the metro rail tunnel, all such things which are not visible. Anything is not visible at the surface, but lot many services are being provided under the ground. Here you see that excavation of tunnels in various stages. This is this is a type of underground construction. So this is just to expose you that what type of underground work is there basically, or how the tunnels look like, how these are being excavated, so that you can understand the challenges in such type of works basically, in such type of underground works. Here you see that at different levels that tunneling is being done at different levels. Parallel tunnels, service tunnels are being excavated under the ground. Normal life is going on at the surface of the earth, whereas lot of construction work is undergoing under the ground. So such type of things are there. So you can visualize the challenges also from such type of pictures or such type of images, that what type of challenges may be there while working in such type of spaces basically. Let us discuss the challenges in the underground construction. Underground construction has a number of unique risks and challenges, but these are also shared with that traditional construction and mining also. That this is not that everything is new. I mean to say that some of the challenges are there in the mining field also, in normal traditional construction works also, when you are excavating the foundation, deep foundations basically there. So there also you find some challenges of caving in of the trenches basically. So such type of things are things exist in the traditional construction also, in addition to some advancement or the tunneling and other things basically. So underground construction workers often work under very difficult situations. What are these under difficult situations? That there is a reduced light conditions basically, because no natural light is there, artificial lights are there. They are not that much equivalent as if you are working in the daylight basically. So they have to work in reduced light. Second thing, these spaces are very dangerous spaces. Dangerous spaces because of many things, many challenges. I'll discuss you, I'll tell you that what are these basically. Then they are working in confined spaces. There is a psychological fear of working in a confined space basically. So that is also there. Also they are at high risk of exposure to contaminants, fire and explosions. Because in the ground there may be some materials, some chemicals which are toxic. If worker is exposed to those chemicals, then their health may be affected. So such contaminants may be there in the soil, basically, which can affect the health of the worker. Then second thing is there may be gases. There may be gases in the underground spaces. So if the worker met with an pocket of the gas, and these gases may be toxic basically, so there may be a effect on the health hazard may be there. Then there may be explosions because of these gases. Basically, when they are digging, there may be some spark because of some reason. So there may be an explosion also. So because of these reasons, basically, working in underground conditions is a very challenging job. Very challenging. Then what are the other risks which are associated in the underground works? Basically, these are fall or dislodgement of earth, rock or other materials. Thus, they are working in the underground basically, and if they are working doing some tunneling work, so in the tunneling work when they are excavating something, then earth or boulders or stone pieces may fall on them basically. So depending upon that how big that is, so that health hazard may be there to the workers. The second thing is fall of persons, materials or objects. If some trench is being excavated, so people may fall in the trench. They may get some health hazard basically. Then if sometimes some water pockets are there, gas pockets are there. So if that water pocket is hit, so there will be inrush or the inflow of the water, or the fluid, other fluids may also be there. So this inrush of the water into the excavation shaft or earthwork, underground work or the tunnel. So if lot of water is there, so flooding may be there in that tunnel or that trench, and workers may be trapped. So this may also be the situation. Then lack of adequate aeration and ventilation. So there is a problem of that sufficient air and the ventilation basically. Then providing safe access and egress to reach a safe place in the event of fire or an inrush of water or some other materials. So if there is some fire or inrush of that water in the trench or the tunnel, so there are not sufficient escape routes basically. So these escape routes are limited. If it is there, it is limited. So lot many people cannot come out quickly. So that is a big challenge basically. Then lack of safe access to reach a safe place in the event of fire or inrush of water or the material. Then circulation of fluids or the presence of pocket of gas basically. So these, if some gas pocket is hit accidentally by the worker, then if this gas is toxic or poisonous, so it may be very detrimental to the health of the worker. So these are some of the challenges and the risks basically. Then what are the safety initiatives that have been taken basically, This safety measures or safety initiatives that started in US basically, and in US the Occupational Safety Health and Administration, that is OSHA, first adopted unique regulations for underground construction in 1971 basically. OSHA regulates underground construction by companies and federal agencies. Means some companies and the federal agencies both are working for the safety of the workers there. And OSHA has published some guidelines that what should be followed in case of some accident, or how to avoid accidents. What measures we can take to avoid accidents basically. Underground construction is one of the most dangerous industries in the world, but now it is becoming safer, especially as the most dangerous jobs are now automated. Because now automatic machines are doing the work which was done earlier by the human labor basically. So because of that introduction of that automatic machines, now this underground construction or underground works are being made little bit safer basically. Then in our country, basically Indian standards have been published basically, which provide guidelines to make the underground work safe basically. There are various guidelines and various IS codes are issued for different type of works. You see here the list that first one, IS 4756 1978, which is safety code for tunneling work. Then IS 3764 1966, safety code for excavation work. Then IS 4801 1986, safety code for blasting and related drilling operations. Then IS 4138 1977, safety code for working on compressed air. Then IS 7293 1974, the safety code for working with the construction machinery. Then IS 5878, it has many parts basically, and the main title is that Code of Practices related to tunneling and underground excavations. Then along with that there are some other acts and rules also. One is very important act is Indian Explosive Act 1988 and Indian Explosive Rule 1983. So these are some of the IS codes and the guidelines. If we follow these codes and the guidelines given in these codes, then we can make the underground work safe and we can save the lives and the health of the workers which are engaged in the underground works basically. Here another safety guideline issued by that railway, which the Indian Railways follows in their works, underground works basically, especially in tunneling work. These are the guidelines for safety in tunnels during construction. This is issued by the Government of India, Ministry of Railways basically. So they usually follow when they are constructing some tunnels for railway works. Then there are certain general safety provisions, and if these are followed, then we can reduce the risk and the challenges in the underground work. What are these? Adequate safety measures should be taken while performing critical activities involved in any excavation, earthworks, underground works or tunnels. These activities can be safely performed by following some basic safety measures such as by suitable shoring, sheeting, putting wire mesh, rock anchoring to guard against the danger to workers from a fall or dislodgement of earth, rock or other materials. So what are these shoring, sheeting, putting wire mesh? I'll tell you in next lecture when we will deal with that trenching or that underground excavation. There I will explain these terms basically. Then to guard the workmen performing these critical activities against hazards arising from the fall of persons, materials or objects or the inrush of water into the excavation, shaft, earthworks, underground works or tunnels. Then by providing adequate aeration at every workplace so as to maintain an atmosphere fit for respiration and to limit any fumes, gases, vapors, dust or other impurities to levels which are not dangerous or injurious to health and are within limits that are laid by the national laws and the regulations. Then avoiding risk to workers arising from underground dangers such as the circulation of fluids, the presence of pockets of gases, by undertaking appropriate investigation to locate them. That in advance we have to investigate whether some water pockets or gas pockets are there in the underground conditions or not. If it is there, then we have to take the appropriate measures to make our workers safe. Then work should not commence therein until the inspection by the competent person as prescribed by the national laws or regulations has been carried out and the activities of excavation, earthworks, underground works or underpass have been found safe for work. Means workers should not be allowed to start work until that work in underground conditions is safe. Only after ensuring that the place where these workers are going to work, it is safe, it is not having some water pocket, it is not having some gas pocket or some other dangerous material or harmful material in that conditions basically. So we have to inspect that. Next is that every part of construction site where activities such as the excavation earthwork, underground works or tunnel where persons are employed should be inspected in addition to the persons deployed for their safety, gears and health by a competent person at times and in frequency prescribed by the national laws or regulations, and the results recorded and monitored. That these places should not only be inspected, whatever we have found there, it should be recorded and these records should be maintained for further reference basically. The shoring or other support for any part of excavation. So these things should be taken care of basically, and we are talking time and again who is authorized to take corrective actions to eliminate these hazards. What are the duties of this competent person? Monitoring of air, then inspecting the work area for ground stability, then inspecting all drilling equipment prior to each use, then inspecting hauling equipment before each shift and visually checking all hosting machinery, equipment and anchorages. So these formed and the persons shall be certified by for these activities. Training on emergency evacuation should be performed on regular basis as per changing scenario in the work activity. That how to evacuate the persons if some emergency is there. For that also the workers should be trained. These shall also include self-survival skill training in addition to first aid training, because if some worker is trapped, then in that case how to survive in such situations. So that training should also be given. Workers shall also be trained to handle critical situations such as fire, explosion, dislodgement of soil or rock. Because if some such type of accident occur, then there should not be panic in that area. They can handle that thing. So such type of training should be provided to these workers. So this is all for today, and we will continue our discussion in the next lecture, and I hope you will go through the course material that is provided to you and come prepared for the next lecture so that we can have a fruitful discussion with you. Thank you.